creating that balance and really and truly choosing and knowing what you're going to do and what you get from it. Don't let FOMO own you. It's just negative. It ain't even right. So now we've defined FOMO. We understand what it is. We understand the role and the negativity that it can cause and the way it harms us in our lives. What strategies can we use to kind of like own the FOMO? So before we go into strategies on avoiding FOMO, I wanted to take a moment to really and truly hone in on the importance of the control that we need to develop in terms of our FOMO. We talked about earlier how marketing strategies encompass processes in targeting FOMO, which is pretty much exploiting the vulnerability in the human psychology. FOMO is pretty bad for your mental state, and honestly, it wasn't until the cruise that I realized it, and I really start researching and developing the awareness on how important it is for us to implement our own strategies on avoiding and really controlling what we choose to miss out on versus taking advantage of. So there were a couple of studies done on, especially as it pertains to social media and the youngsters in our life. There has been a significant influx of youngsters, and youngsters are defined by 14 to 24-year-old reporting problems with anxiety, depression, sleep, and FOMO. The top 4 social media platforms that were reported on were Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. This study was done by the Royal Society for Public Health. So in this study, it reported that there was a survey that tracked a group of 5,200 Americans between 2013 and 2015. It found that an increase in Facebook activity was associated with a future decrease in reported mental health. So an obvious solution to the problem is to cut down screen time. Even the most obsessive users should be able to do so. It's really evident, and I know I'm using social media as an example, and not to throw social media under the bus, because I think it's an extremely useful tool for us to connect, but I think it's the overuse of it by all of us, myself included, that really adds to the notion of FOMO and really decreases our mental and emotional state sometimes. The ultimate lesson for all of us is to really and truly understand and realize we are in control, not the social media. Our lives does not depend on what is posted on social media, nor does it depend on what we post on social media. We are not validated by this. And a couple of strategies we can use to avoid or help us deal with FOMO. So a couple of strategies I'm going to use in my life to really and truly choose whether to FOMO or not to FOMO, or give in to FOMO rather. Number 1 is realize that you might not actually be missing out. And that's something I wish I knew prior to the cruise, because I would have behaved much better as it pertains to, feeling like I was missing out and just, taking my anger out on my husband. Are you really and truly missing out if you don't drop what you're doing right now to go out with your friends or to do this, that, and the other? Is it what you want to do or what you need to do? Or what you want to do, is it really and truly something that's necessary? Number 2 is avoid overusing social media. I am trying to pull back a lot on social media as it pertains to my personal self. When it comes to a balanced juggle, I'm always putting stuff out there to help inspire and motivate people to keep going with their day. But I have pulled back a lot on what I post personally. And it's kind of freeing, and I'm going to continue to do that because again, who owns it? Me, or am I owned? That's the bottom line. Number 3, which I think a lot of younger people, I'm old, so I don't think this really applies to me, but number 3 is don't be so hard on yourself for staying in. There's nothing wrong with you time. There's nothing wrong with home time. Your best company sometimes is yourself. And as I become older, I'm realizing this. I am my best friend. My own thoughts, having that time with me alone is very, very good for one's mental health. So give yourself permission to rest, relax, without thinking of what else you can or should be doing. Consider if you're the cause of your own FOMO. Hello? Yes. 9 times out of 10, I am the cause of my own FOMO. Marketing strategies, yes, it does exploit that sense of fear of missing out, but who's in control of that fear? Am I not? And that's my stopping point. You have to ask yourself, to FOMO or not to FOMO? Am I giving in or not? It always starts with that awareness. And that awareness is going to be an exercise. We have to develop that skill, and it will become eventually a habit. Remember to ask yourself, who's in control? Am I giving in? Am I the cause of my own FOMO, or is someone else? Most times It's going to be you. You are in control. Everything external to yourself is not in control of you. Number 5 is host a party or plan a group outing. Well, if you're organizing the event, you're in control. So obviously you won't have any fear of missing out. I can't say that I agree with this 110% because I don't know. Hosting an event is a whole other set of anxiety. And unless it's absolutely necessary, I mean, listen, I prefer to just be myself. Number 6 is be okay with not being able to do it all. And that is something that I am also coming to terms with as it pertains to handling work, handling life, handling kids, handling home. I always think that I have to do it all. And if I don't get it done, something is wrong or an experience is being missed out on. I left something on the table, and it's hard to swallow that. It's a big lesson for me. And I think for most moms and ladies, it is as well because we're always getting things done. It's almost like second nature. And we have to come to terms with being okay when it's not. Ultimately, it's all about balance, right? And then finally, ask yourself if your FOMO is about something bigger. And I think that is the biggest point in all of this. King Henry said it the best. There's a reason, and then there's the reason. So what exactly are you pissed off about? Am I pissed off that he had dessert or he's having dessert in front of me or he's not understanding that I'm on a diet or I'm on a restricted diet and I can't have that, so he shouldn't either? No, it was a bigger picture than that. I was pissed off that I was missing out and I was directing that feeling and that negative emotions on him, and that was unfair. When you stop, you allow yourself to become aware of your habits, you can ask yourself the question, why am I doing this? Is there something bigger out there that I'm after, that I'm replacing with these smaller instances of FOMO? Ultimately, it's real. FOMO is real. Fear of missing out is real. 9 times out of 10, you put the TV on, you're looking at something on your social media. They are exploiting your sense of missing out. It's a human tendency to not want to miss out on anything. And unfortunately, nowadays, FOMO is becoming a bigger and bigger, I'm going to say epidemic, because more and more marketing strategies are being developed to exploit just that, is the consumer's fear of missing out on an experience. And it's the consumer's responsibility to create the awareness and ownership of what they choose to experience versus not. Do not allow these various outlets to control you, be it social media, be it the, whatever other influencers we have out there. One of the greatest things that I was told a while back was don't allow yourself to be a puppet. The media companies, news, social media, whatever have you, don't let anyone else be your puppeteer. We are in control of ourselves. Cut the friggin' strings, and I'm certainly working on doing that for myself. And I hope you take some of this information and you apply it to your own lives, be it personally or professionally, and really and truly consider how FOMO in some ways may be controlling you and how to cut that away from yourselves. We are in control. Woman power. Whoop whoop. I hope we're able to develop strategies that will help us break away from that and really and truly be in control of what we experience, when we want it, how we want it. Darn it. Because that's what it's all about, and find the balance to do that. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Balanced Juggle. If you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, please feel free to email me at Leena, Leena, at abalancedjuggle.com. And don't forget, take this over to our website, abalancedjuggle.com, where you can join in the discussion, leave extra feedback or your own experiences as it pertains to FOMO. And don't forget to visit our shop page. We've got some great swagalicious ABJ gear. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media. Speaking of which, we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm always posting motivational comments, pictures, things that I find that keeps me going during my busy day, and I hope that positivity spreads to you. Again, thank you so much for listening. My name is Leena. Stay well and stay balanced.